Assalamualaikum everyone. We're back with another video from the TheFanStands. As you guys know that this is during the December period, the games, the game weeks become compacted. So today we've decided to, change a bit of our video format and, discuss about a number of games in one single video. So right now we're going to start with Manchester United at Tottenham, which is, going to happen this week on midweek on Thursday, I believe, and it's going to be at Old Trafford. So let's start with our resident Manchester
I
United
think
fan.
I think we're going to be discussing all midweek matches first, and then
Yeah,
going on to the weekend matches, I guess.
definitely. So let's start with our resident Manchester United fan,
Well,
Nayan.
well, obviously, first and foremost, there's a return of Jose Mourinho to Old Trafford. Before that, before delving into it further, there's a very I understand that things get compacted, times get compacted at this time of the season, but this is one of the most exciting times in football lovers, season that they're watching. But yeah, coming back to the match, when you're talking about Tottenham, you're looking at Jose Mourinho coming back to Old Trafford. A team that he used to manage just a season back. Um, United just recently came off a draw against a team like Aston Villa,
Villa, yeah.
and that too on their home ground, Old Trafford. United has been facing this issue in their midfield with only Fred and Pereira there playing in the midfield. Although they do have other options in the form of Ghana and Levitt, but I feel that they're very young at the moment, don't have a lot of experience. Like McTominay, they don't unlike McTominay, they don't have a lot of experience. So I feel they're a question mark at the moment. Having said that, I do think that McTominay may be back for this particular match, and obviously we're approaching the end of December when we see Pogba finally returning to the squad as well. So we can only hope for the best. Tottenham is a strong team with big names, and obviously now a big, they were managed by a big name, but they managed by being currently managed by a bigger name in Jose Mourinho. He has a habit of being very pragmatic, but in his past 2 to 3 games, he hasn't exactly been very pragmatic with his approach. They have conceded, goals. United has that kind of strike force to injure a team like Tottenham at the moment, but you cannot write off Tottenham at all because of the quality that they have in the squad. United can definitely not match that at the moment.
But coming back to the next match, immediately after this, they are facing City at the Etihad. So, Musin,
Well, it's going to be tough. The way things are going for them right now, I mean, even at home, they're finding it difficult to win a match, and especially going to City away. It is not impossible, but because of the recent form at this moment,
Yeah.
it is going to be very tough. City,
100%.
City is vulnerable, especially in the defense. I mean, they drew against Newcastle. No, a lot of us did not see that coming.
yeah.
And after De Bruyne scored a wonderful goal, you know, arguably one of the goals of this season, I thought, City has won the game. But, defensively again, they could not stop Newcastle. At home, I mean, players like Shelby and Almiron for Newcastle were excellent on that day.
Yeah, and Sir Maximan as well.
Yeah, he's always a very good striker, Maximin. So he also did well against City, so that you can see they are vulnerable at the back. And someone like Almiron, who just joined Newcastle at the start of this year, who's failed to register any goals or assists
For a year now.
and I mean he looked like a very top player. If Newcastle can trouble City, they played very defensive compared to the way they played against Aston Villa last week. But City did. They also missed their chances. To be honest, they had a few chances, but they couldn't capitalize, and they dropped points. So before we come to that one, I'd like to ask something from Diane about the midweek match between Manchester United and Spurs. How do you see Oli approaching this match, and how do you see Jose Mourinho approaching this match? With the intent of trying to pull one over against his former club, Manchester United.
Well, Tottenham's obviously going to be coming to Old Trafford for this match, and in the past of the kind of behavior that Mourinho and the choices that Mourinho has exhibited in the past, you only expect Mourinho to be a bit more pragmatic in terms of his approach to the game. United is a very attacking team at the moment. They've got a lot of pace. If you give them the opportunity, they can hurt you. Yes, they're a young side, but again, they can hurt you. So I feel that obviously, uh, Jose Mourinho is gonna try being careful about that. But at the same time, when you look at United's midfield, if there is no McTominay in the picture, then I feel there's a big question mark there. There's only so much that your defensive line can do, the defensive four can do, honestly speaking. If you don't have a cover from your midfield, you eventually have too much pressure to defend against. But my point is, at the moment, United has a big issue because you're looking at the past two games, and after McTominay not being there, you can clearly see that without him, there's no midfielder who gets the time to move forward. Okay, and because of that, your strike force is alienated as a whole. In both games, Lingard was brought into the picture to probably give them those runs and probably even engage the strike force up ahead. In Aston Villa's game, yes, there were defensive issues, obviously, and defensive mistakes that led to possibly two goals. Second one, mostly the second one, because the first one from Grealish was actually a very beautiful goal in terms of its finish. But yeah, as in with Tottenham, I see United trying to sit back and score at the counter rather than going all guns blazing. I understand they're playing at home, but again, at the moment the pressure is mounting on Ole as well, and like it or not, as much as the board says that they're ready to back him, eventually it's all gonna boil down to numbers, and right now United hasn't been churning out good results. Were they had they probably won both games,
with Astana and
exactly with Astana and Aston
Aston
Villa,
Villa.
it would have been a different picture altogether. But this one, they either need to come out with a draw and ideally with a win, but at the minimum a draw from this game, because when they go away to City, right after that, United already doesn't have a very good record in terms of their away form.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about Manchester City on paper and on field, Manchester City has a brilliant team with some of the top players in the world. So I feel that they've got a lot to worry. Plus, have playing two games on the trot, that brings about a lot of fatigue. Honestly speaking.
Yeah, that is what basically one point that I wanted to make. Even in my earlier point when I said that City is missing Guerrero, and City has not been scoring really good goals from their strikers aren't really scoring right now. But talking about Tottenham strikers, especially their forwards, especially Son, has been scoring has scored in almost every game for the
Son,
past 5 games, I guess.
Son has been brilliant. I mean, in the match against, I think Spurs played against Bournemouth
Yeah,
at home. The problem is, I see in the attack they've improved a lot.
yeah.
They've gained a lot of confidence, especially a player like Dele Alli. He's been playing absolutely phenomenal since Mourinho's come in. And
Yeah, only defensively
defensively they're poor, and that is where I agree with Dan that Manchester United does have the pedigree to injure Tottenham at the back. I mean,
Yeah.
if Oli gets it right, I mean, if his players up front, the attack, Daniel James is someone I'm looking at as a threat for the Spurs back lineup, as well as maybe Rashford and Martial. They can use their pace and they can trouble Tottenham. Tottenham hasn't been a very good team when they're traveling away, and I think Jose Mourinho, to be honest, as confident he might sound, I mean, probably might think this fixture game is coming a bit too early for him. He hasn't settled down very well at the moment, but
Yeah, it's still early days for him.
And you're
it's
talking
still
about
early
Old
days.
Trafford again, like any other, home ground, to the effect of probably Anfield, be it the Emirates, Anfield, Stamford Bridge, the Old Trafford is also very difficult to win in again because it's United's fortress. You can question that in recent times, But at the same time, if I feel, McTominay is available and McTominay comes into the picture, we can see a very different game. I also feel that, when he brought about Shaw in the last game, right at the end, there was, a very, major difference in terms of, the kind of experience that Shaw brings. Although taking nothing away from Brandon Williams at all, Brandon Williams is a lovely footballer, very good young talent. But again, Shaw brings in that experience as well. With McTominay there, I can see things settling down. Plus, Pereira getting to focus more on the attacking front, which I feel he's better at rather than sitting deep. You also have Mata and Lingard. Lingard there, as you said, Dan James, Martial, and Rashford up front. If you get them to, if you engage them into the game, and if you get them to move around off the ball and on the ball, you can actually see Tottenham getting hurt really bad by United.
I feel Spurs is going to go with a defensive approach. I mean,
Definitely.
Jose Mourinho,
He's very pragmatic.
he'll accept a draw. He doesn't want, he'll avoid loss to Manchester United. I think he's probably going to go defensive as well. And Oli, on the other hand, he should go and attack. This is what I suggest. I know he doesn't have the players or the squad depth to attack, because when you want to play very attacking football with the kind of fixtures you have in this coming month, you have to worry about fatigue as well, because big matches like these are they played at a very high intensive level.
Yeah.
So let's see how it goes, but I still think it's going to be a draw.
And plus, one more thing that one interesting fact is that Maguire, the big man at the back, obviously, and Luke Shaw for that matter, if Luke Shaw plays, which I feel he can play against Tottenham. They also play with Harry Kane, and a couple of other players from Tottenham for the in the English squad. So I feel there is this little, anticipation that they have. They understand the team better, the opposition better, and I
But
feel
that can be said for Harry Kane as well. He can anticipate how the
hundred
defense is
percent,
going to be.
I think you're right.
100%, they can. But again, when you're talking about management, you look at Mourinho. That's last time when he was managing United, all 3 years, whenever he went to Liverpool or he went to Anfield or Stamford Bridge, he went very he was very pragmatic with his approach. But one can argue that United had a weaker defense, but again they've been conceding goals as well.
Yeah, Spurs. I mean, both of their last matches against West Ham as well as the one right now against Brighton, conceding after scoring
Not
three.
right, Bournemouth.
Bournemouth, sorry, after scoring three, they're conceding. I mean, Mourinho said that
He
that
was
wasn't
sorry.
something. Was sorry, and he said that wasn't something to worry about because he conceded at a time when the game was already gone from the opposition's end. But it is still concerning. I mean, he might make some changes at the back, but I doubt he's probably going to go with the same team. But as you rightly pointed out, Heung-min Son is going to be very key player for this match, as well as Dele Alli, who's been he's a newborn player now under Mourinho. I mean, playing very well in that number 10 role, and he looks like the same Dele Alli which we saw 2-3 seasons ago, who we expected a lot from.
And what about the Manchester derby? What do you expect the scoreline to be?
Manchester derby,
Yeah.
you go first.
I think it's going to be a City win, although United do have an outside chance, but because they're going to go away, and that result against Spurs, it is also going. Whatever happens, it's going to play a very important role in such a big match. When you're going in a big match, you want a win under your belt to go with confidence and to be high on confidence. If in case they lose at Old Trafford, or even if they draw at Old Trafford against Spurs, they might feel a bit disappointed, so might not be as motivated as they can be with a win, and then going to the Etihad. But it's going to be a very tough week for Manchester United, and let's see how City fares against. I think they're going to play Burnley
Yes.
away, right? So let's see how they perform, because this is a City side. We do not expect them to drop too many points.
Yeah,
They've
I
already,
believe City is under very much pressure.
yeah, they've already dropped 13 points this season,
Yeah,
and they're 11 points behind Liverpool already
Yeah.
See,
now.
City already, my take on City is that they're obviously not targeting the league, I guess, now. Now
I
that
think they
they've
should
dropped
go
so
for the
many
Champions
points.
League now.
Yeah, they're definitely going to shift their focus towards the Champions League. Although though I see United probably losing to City, either a 2-1 or a 3-1 loss against City, because United doesn't have a very strong midfield. If McTominay comes in, things could be different again, because United is a much more composed team with McTominay in the midfield. So I feel that without him, they would obviously lose 2-1 or 3-1 against City. They've got players that can injure United, and the youth in the team at that
Definitely,
time.
the lag experience, and Hassan, you mentioned forwards haven't been firing, but players like Raheem Sterling, they can be the difference for
Kevin
And
this
De
match.
Kevin De
Bruyne,
Bruyne
yeah.
has scored,
Kevin De Bruyne from
for
the
them.
midfield, yes, he can assist, and David Silva's also
Yeah,
back in
David
the
Silva,
team.
yeah.
So, if you
Plus,
saw.
Burnley isn't such a big pressure
It
point
isn't,
for
but
them, I guess.
I mean, we didn't expect
But
Newcastle
Newcastle
to come with a draw. So,
Newcastle
and,
lost to Villa.
and Burnley can play with a very rigid
That was an
defense.
away game, right?
Yeah, and I think Burnley's going to be away as well, right?
Yeah, Burnley is going to be
Burnley's
away.
going to be away as well. So it's a very
100%.
tricky fixture.
Alright.
But again, in comparison, Burnley and Newcastle, going away to Newcastle is always a bit more difficult than
Yeah, the
probably
crowd was
yeah,
the
than
crowd was
probably
all
going to
Newcastle.
Burnley.
There was
Newcastle,
it
if
was
you
all Newcastle.
talk about Newcastle, St. James Park, very vocal, very
Yeah.
noisy. I mean, the passion Newcastle fans have is
James-
amazing.
St. James's Park is
Amazing
very
place.
difficult to
Yeah,
play.
and the second
place to-
the second goal for
yeah.
Newcastle, the place just erupted.
That was a very good goal, very good set piece, and Shelby, they deserve to draw the way Newcastle played.
Yeah.
And I feel again Tottenham goes against Burnley right after United.
Yes.
So I feel that
Burnley has a very tough.
I think both the one team that has more pressure at the moment is probably United as compared to
The other two.
City
Definitely,
and Tottenham.
definitely, yes.
A, because they've got a weaker side with less quality. B, also because both the matches that they have are big matches.
Yes.
And they need to churn out results.
Yeah, and their manager is under pressure as well. All right.
100%. But I feel Ole is not.
Yeah, Ole is
But
not,
yeah.
but yeah. But he would be against, especially against Tottenham, he would be against.
It's going to be a different game, the hype around the matches. It is
Former
a
manager
big, it is a
would-
big
former
fixture,
manager
but
would-
because of Mourinho coming back to Old
Yeah.
Trafford,
Yeah.
that is the main it is the main talking point about this match.
Yeah.
But in any case, Mourinho, I love you, man.
Yeah, we know you love him.
Yeah.
Alright, so I guess that's about it for the video. Do remember to like and share with your share the video, share with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Also, leave us comments. What do you think? Who's going to win these upcoming matches? Whether Mourinho is going to put one up over his old side, and
Or Ole is going to turn the tide.
yeah, and always going to win both of the
If
both of
he
the
wins
matches.
both of them, that's going to shut up a lot of...
That's going to be fantastic.
A lot of
for
people.
Manchester
Yeah,
United.
and then it would be probably that Manchester United shouldn't buy it. They should just stick to their academy.
No, as in... with probably McTominay there, I would probably, expect United to draw against both.
If United beats Spurs, I want to listen to what Mourinho says after the post match.
Yeah, but also one more thing. I think United would win against City. I
That's
think
a
United
big
would win
call.
against City, but against Tottenham it would be a draw. That's what I think.
But even if Tottenham does lose to United, I feel that unlike Chelsea fans, United fans are very respectful of their ex-managers. And, we're gonna definitely respect him for the work that he's done here. He has won silverware and
that
trophies.
depends what Mourinho does. I mean, if
After his
he starts counting trophies.
If he starts doing that, then he obviously knows that what Old Trafford can possibly do to him as well.
He's not Judas for anything.
Exactly, but again, there's a difference. Stamford Bridge and Old Trafford.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, take care. Bye.
Allah Hafiz.